Alright, so you know Mark Cuban, right? The dude from Shark Tank and the Mavericks? He's that guy who throws out quick deals and jumps on entrepreneurs when he smells something fishy. And let's not forget his loud personality and big ego, which are hard to ignore. But here's the kicker. Despite all that, he's the most reliable shark on the show, sealing the deal 87.5% of the time. That's way more than the other sharks. But hey, he's worth a crazy $6.2 billion, 5 times more than all the other regular sharks combined. No wonder he can afford to be chill with his deals. Mark always talks about hustling to the top, but they never really spill the beans on how he got so rich. So here's the lowdown on how Mark Cuban became the only regular billionaire on Shark Tank. So let's rewind the clock. Mark Cuban was born July the 31st, 1958 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, into a Jewish immigrant family. His folks came from Russia and Romania, and there was this name change business at Ellis Island. Dad did car upholstery, and Mom was a homemaker. Not rolling in dough, but Mark, since he was a kid, had this hustle vibe. At 12, he's selling garbage bags door to door just to cop some pricey basketball kicks. At 16, when the local paper strikes, he seizes the moment, selling newspapers from Cleveland to Pittsburgh. Teen Mark was doing all right, but he wasn't about to stay put. He fast-tracks high school, graduates early, and lands at the University of Pittsburgh. Initially a Steelers fan pick, but after a year, he switches to Indiana University in Bloomington. Cheaper tuition, smart move. Still, this dude's keeping his entrepreneurial mojo, running a pub and teaching disco lessons. In 1981, he wraps up college with a business administration degree in management. Post-grad, he heads back to Pennsylvania and lands a gig at Mellon Bank. The bank's transitioning to computers, and it hits Mark. Computers are the future, but he's not one to chill. A year later, he's off to Dallas, Texas, juggling jobs as a bartender and a salesman at Your Business Software. Even today, Mark swears if he had to start fresh, he'd bartend by night and sell by day. Stable bar cash and scalable sales income. But life throws a curveball. He gets the boot from the sales gig for skipping work to meet a client. Instead of job hunting, Mark thinks, well, it's time to start my own company. And that's where the entrepreneurial journey kicks into high gear, and Mark dives into the business game with MicroSolutions, a software consulting service. It's basically a spinoff of his old job, but he's convinced he can do it better. Classic Mark confidence. His mantra? Execution beats a killer idea any day. Forget follow your passion. He argues it's a life lie. If he followed his passion, he'd be a failed jock. Instead, he chases opportunities. MicroSolutions takes off because Mark's got a ready-made client base from his previous gig. Convincing them to switch is a cakewalk for this hustler. Mark's not just talking the talk, he's walking the tech walk. He embraces remote screen sharing, client-server software, and the internet. By 1990, MicroSolutions rakes in $30 million. Offers to buy start pouring in, and Mark cashes out, selling to CompuServe for $6 million. After taxes, he walks away with about $2 million. Well, adjusted for inflation, that'd be roughly $4.2 million. Not billionaire status, but Mark's not complaining. He just wanted financial freedom. And $4.2 million? I'd say that's more than enough. His first move post-cash? Dropped $600,000 on an American Airlines unlimited pass, letting him globe-trot first class, partying like a rock star for 5 years. The long-term cost? Just 12 cents per mile, making it a terrible business call for American Airlines, who scrapped it. But Mark, one of the 25 lucky pass holders, still cherishes his golden ticket. After a wild ride in the 90s, Mark's not one to chill. The business itch strikes again, and he's ready for the next chapter. So Mark didn't plan on starting another business, but fate had other ideas. A buddy from college, Todd Wagner, introduces him to Cameron Jabe, the brains behind Cameron Audio Networks, specializing in streaming out-of-town sports games. Originally, it's about selling handheld satellite gadgets, but by the early 90s, they pivot to internet streaming. Being a big Hoops fan, Mark chips in $10,000 for a 2% stake when the company's still in its infancy. A bit bold since they hadn't even launched yet. As negotiations for streaming rights progress, Mark gets more intrigued and eventually offers to take over the whole shebang. Cameron, maybe underestimating the potential, agrees. A colossal miscalculation. Mark rebranded it as AudioNet, later changing it to Broadcast.com in 1998. Despite the early success with 570,000 users in the first few years, it's during the dot-com bubble. Going public in 1998, the stock skyrocketed 250% on day one, valuing the company at $1 billion. Mark, with a 30% stake, sees his net worth hit $300 million. In 1999, Mark diversified, helping Victoria's Secret's live stream a fashion show. Yahoo smells opportunity and offers $5.7 billion for Broadcast.com. Mark, sensing a good deal, takes it, pocketing around $1 billion. Fast forward, Yahoo killed the service in 2002, making it one of the worst acquisitions ever. Looking at the streaming giants today, it's easy to say Yahoo missed the boat. Mark could have ridden out the dot-com crash and turned Broadcast.com into something like YouTube, worth tens of billions today. But hey, $1 billion in hand is worth $2 billion in the bush. Mark cashes out his Yahoo stock within a year, a wise move considering Yahoo's future struggles. And just like that, Mark goes from billionaire on paper to billionaire in the bank. Mark openly shares how incredibly fortunate he was with Broadcast.com. Well, it all started with some serious luck. First, meeting Cameron, then convincing Cameron to let him take over the company, and finally, Yahoo swooping in to buy the struggling company for billions. Mark believes hitting millions or tens of millions is doable, but reaching $1 billion again? Well, that would require another stroke of luck. After cashing in on the sale, Mark went on a spending spree. In 1999, he snagged a Gulfstream jet for a cool $40 million online, setting a world record for the largest single e-commerce transaction. Next up, in January of 2000, he dropped $285 million to buy the Dallas Mavericks. Mark wasn't really thinking about returns. He just loved basketball and wanted to see the team rise. Surprisingly, the Mavericks' stellar performance turned his passion into a fantastic investment. Before Mark, they only won 40% of their games, but in the decade post-purchase, they soared to a 69% win rate and even clinched the NBA Finals in 2011. Now the team is valued at $2.7 billion, nearly a 10 times return on Mark's initial investment. Mark is known for his quick deal offers and a particular dislike for supplement companies. But when it comes down to it, he's got the entrepreneur's backs. Initially, Shark Tank participants had to cough up either 2% of their profits or 5% equity to the production company for the chance to appear on the show. Mark, however, thought the production company needed to make more than enough and wanted them to avoid eating into the entrepreneur's business. Straight shooter, that Mark.